So I thought I recorded this already, but anyway, um, I decided to watch Cherry, the Tom Holland Russo brothers movie, because it was Tom Holland's birthday. I went ahead and did my free trial for Apple Plus so I could watch it because I've been meaning to, but I didn't. So I figured, well, since it's International Tom Holland Day, according to Twitter, which he actually deserves that holiday, unlike some other people. But I'll go ahead and watch it. So I did. And you know what? I didn't like that movie at all. I don't know who it was made for. Because for me, it had to have been made for the millions and millions of people who want to watch Tom Holland suffer. Oh, you say there aren't millions and millions of people who want to watch Tom Holland suffer? Well, maybe there's two guys named Anthony and Joe, because otherwise, who wants to see this? Anyways, it was meant to be bleak. It was meant to be pretentious. It was meant to be a lot of things, I think. It's a lot of stuff we've seen done before, all thrown into the same movie, kind of like a garbage soup, if you know what garbage soup is. And I really had to slog through it. I started watching it sometime around 3:30, and I kept getting up to do something else or whatever. Just not even that I was busy. I just had to take a break because I was like, what is this? Or I had to go do something else just to, because I wanted to do something else instead of that. So spoilers, yeah, he's a kid, a young man who gets a girlfriend, and their whole relationship seems like shit from the beginning. I mean, I don't understand the younger kids and stuff. But the thing is, it kind of looked like the 80s. Like, they were all dressed like the 80s, and like they had cars that were old, and I was like, is this the 80s? But it actually had, like 2002 and shit like that on the screen, so I guess not. And then, but there were other times where I was like, but the stuff that they were getting involved in and the way they were behaving, so it's like the shit people did in the 60s. So I'm like, this whole movie doesn't make any sense. The dialogue was terrible. I mean, I've only done a handful of reviews on here, and it's because I don't watch movies anymore because I've been home, locked down, and I was a movie goer, so I haven't really seen that many movies, and I've been having a hard time actually watching movies, to tell you the truth. I got all these movies I want to watch on Tubi that I've had on the list for the whole year, and I have not gotten around to them. It's just really hard for me to sit there and watch a movie. So I forced myself to go the distance with this one, and it's just like, I'm not saying that him and her didn't have chemistry. I don't know what her name is, Kiara something, or Sierra. I don't know how people say their names, these kids. But she was okay. I don't know her from before. Of course, Tom Holland's a great actor. He's a wonderful young man. We want him to have all the things. Not this thing though. It was just, like I said, I was watching him suffer. Does that mean he can never do that kind of movie? No, of course not. Like I said previously in one of my other videos, after watching that Umbrella performance over and over and over again, and just knowing how good he is, like I said, I saw him in The Impossible first, and I really came out of that theater thinking that kid was great, looked him up, meant to remember his name, didn't remember his name, so years later, after seeing Spider-Man, when I went on the IMDb to vote on it, as I always did when I got home from the theater, and I said, let me look up what else this kid's been in, I was like, shocked. Oh my god, that's the kid who was so great in The Impossible. So I've been a fan since the first time I saw him, and yeah, I don't expect him to suck or anything, and he didn't, but this movie did. I'm looking at my notes. Like I said, I had done this already, but guess what? I didn't plug in the microphone because I'm wicked smart. So there were some shots that reminded me of Rumblefish. I was looking at first, the style was really getting to me, and I was like, and then I started to think Rumblefish, like a couple of the framing, the way they framed it, and I don't understand. Like I said, there's a couple movies where I'm watching it and I feel like I need to take my sunglasses off, but I don't have sunglasses on. They're doing that lately with movies. It wasn't sepia tone. I don't know what to call it, but it just makes everything dull looking, like it's not dreamlike. I don't know what to call it. It's just like not smoky. Something that's just like if it was tinted with, like if you bought glasses and you got it with like 50% gray tint. That's what it looks like to me. So I don't want to watch the kid doing the stuff he was doing in this movie, especially that porta potty thing. Now look, Babel. I went and saw Babel in the theater, and in the very beginning there's a scene, and I understand that that's a little kid. I don't want to see little kids doing stuff like that. And as far as I'm concerned, I know Tom Holland is a very handsome, now 25-year-old man. In my head, he's a little kid. I don't want to see that. I just don't want to. What else? There was a glimmer of hope. At one point, Michael Rispoli popped up in the movie for a scene, and I said, oh my god, because I've loved him since While You Were Sleeping, because I'm the kind of person who goes to the movie and doesn't fall for one of the other guys that you're supposed to. I fall for Joe Jr. So he was there, and I was like, oh, please don't let this be his only scene. And doesn't the kid say, and I never saw him again. And I was like, oh, wonderful. So, yeah, how many movies does this remind me of? So many movies. Oh, but you know what? When his girlfriend dumps him. Spoilers. I said spoilers, right? When his girlfriend dumps him and he says, I'm going to join Army. It reminded me of Buster Bluth. And then when she's like, well, I only told you that I was going to Montreal because, or I was only going to Montreal because I had to get away from you because I love you. I was like, oh, well, we have Buster Bluth. We might as well have Rita, because that's how she was acting. Then, what else happened? They kept using the block letters. Like I said, that reminds me of Gaspar Noé. Noé, however you say it. Love his movie. Like, this movie was meant to be depressing. Gaspar Noé's Soul Contra 2 is my favorite. I relate to it. I Stand Alone should be depressing for most people, I would think. I find it uplifting. This is just pain in the ass. I don't know who started the block letters thing, because it had to be somebody before. But that's what it made me think of. Yeah, and the dialogue, like I said, I was like, do kids actually talk like that? Their big first romantic scene. I think I adore you. Do whatever you want, man. What the fuck is that? Oh my god. And I'm just like, is this real dialogue? Is this real life? I mean, I like that he attempted to change his voice. Like I said, he showed up to act, and I appreciate it, but oh, what am I looking at? Oh, here's the side. I'm looking at my notes. Don't bother me. Yeah, I brought up Rumblefish and all that stuff. Jack Rayner suddenly shows up because they're junkies now, and I liked him in Sing Street, and I watched him run around naked in Midsummer, and he was in something else, like I said, I think with Vince Vaughn, or the one where maybe Vince Vaughn had a bunch of babies, because, yeah. So, yeah, so this movie, It's just a lot. It just looked like a lot of stuff that had been in other movies, and they tried to. I don't know if they tried to take from it or whatever. Maybe the person who wrote it, when they were fictionalizing their life, I don't know. The movies you should be watching instead: Requiem for a Dream, Trainspotting, Hell or High Water. A movie from like the 90s called Rush. I know there's more than one Rush. This one is with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Jason Patric. Because there are countless junkie movies and Jesus Son, Drugstore Cowboy that are so much better. And they're the kind we grew up on, meaning people relatively my age, which I think the Russos are relative. They may be a little bit older than me. I'm not 100% sure. They're relatively my age. So yeah, if you were a film snot or people who pretended to be cineists, you've seen all this stuff. I don't need to see another war picture. I mean, I've been fed up with World War II pictures, but at this point I've had more than enough of, Iraq War and any of that stuff. We've been at Jarhead, Hurt Locker. I mean, I don't know, what was the one with Miles Teller that was actually about, oh, Thank You for Your Service, was about mental health problems they have when they come home and how they don't get help. And I just thought of another one too. Shoot, Stop Loss, I think it was, with Ryan Phillippe. I know every actor wants to play Army Man. They all want to do this. I feel like he squished every single horrible kind of tragic role into this movie. I don't know who wanted it. I don't know who wanted to see him suffer for 2.5 hours. It makes me sad because the talent there, I do like the Russo brothers a lot. I mean, Infinity War, of course, is my favorite of the MCU. After that, it's Captain America: The First Avenger, which is not them, but then the other Captain America movies. And then, Endgame. So, they've got too much talent for this. And of course, the kid, I mean, he did a good job acting, but put all that effort into nice movies. Something entertaining. He said, I wanted this kid to play Andy Gibb. I didn't want him to do this kind of crap. I mean, yeah, that would have been a drug issue movie to some degree. And a love story. But you got this hot mess. Which, it's not a hot mess. It's not poorly executed. It's just why? Have somebody we don't like play a miserable person like this. Just made me feel bad for no reason. There's no payoff to feeling bad. It wasn't like, oh, but it was such a great original, I've never seen anything like that before. Like I said, look at all the movies I named. A lot of them are not old, so there's no reason for this except wanting to do what's already been done. Like I said, at first the style really was off-putting. I got used to it, but it was like, they're not film students, but it was almost like film students trying to be really serious and, doing some good work in terms of craft, but for what? I hate being negative all the time, but so far, like I said, every time I try to review a movie, I end up not liking it, except for Train to Busan, which my reviews are funny anyway because it's me and my note cards and no clips, but hey, just saying my piece here. So, I cannot give it anything decent. I cannot, because I have strict rules, and this is on the very low end of movies. For me, I do not like to give, if I think a movie shouldn't exist, it's got to be below 5. it's usually a 1. I'm not going to go that far because, like I said, they put in style. There's a score that sounds nice. The actors showed up and did their job. It's just, why is it here? Why do I need this? So I'm going to say 4 out of 10, which is terrible. But it's just, none of us had to go through this. Especially Tom Holland. He's such a nice boy. Nice young man. He should be in all the things. I was looking at his nose. It's a much better nose, but I said it's not that different from Hugh Jackman's nose. So I was trying to think, is there a father-son musical where dancing more than singing? Because we already know Hugh Jackman's iffy on the singing, but I have no idea what Tom Holland sounds like. But yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see musicals. Happy fun times. Not puking everywhere. Anyway, 4 out of 10. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be negative, but I have to tell the truth. Don't do that anymore. Do nice things. Be better.